Chris Paul.
Jason Kidd.
Chris Paul.
Jason Kidd.
Chris Paul. Jason Kidd. Sits on the shot clock. Kidd for three. Fouled. And what a four-point play.
But that's a big-time shot.
Chris Paul, the smallest man on the court, taking upon himself. 1.2 seconds left. C.
From downtown.
3.
On this episode of NBA Now and Then, the greatest comparisons, we compare two top floor generals from their respective eras.
This player was labeled the second coming of Magic Johnson, and boy, did he live up to the hype.
There's plenty of great point guards in NBA history, but there's only one point guard.
When they played head-to-head, elite playmaking was always on display.
We are thrilled to present to you Chris Paul and Jason Kidd. I'm Uriah.
I'm Maurice.
I'm Lucas.
And I'm Ben.
And we're here to talk NBA
Now and Then.
All right, we're back, everyone. And at this point of season 2, you've either been with us for quite some time or maybe you're just catching on. If you're new to the show, we recommend starting back in season 1, where we've compared dozens of NBA stars. Guys, who have we featured in season 1?
I mean, I'm going to go with this one. I know probably Ben and Maurice wanted to do this one, but Joel Embiid and Hakeem Olajuwon.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with those two.
I got to go with Harden and Iverson just because I got heated and I don't know. That's just huge fan bases. So I'm curious to see what people think about that one.
So for me, it would probably been Meta World Peace and Draymond Green. Just a comparison of those two defensive players who, tough guys. It was really insane doing that one.
All right, so you heard it, guys. Season 1, we had a lot of great comparisons, and we also had some special episodes where we compared draft classes. We compared wines from different players from around the NBA. So no matter where you are in our comparison journey, there's plenty of content to enjoy for free. But guess what? We also have exclusive content through our subscription platform on Apple Podcasts, where for a reasonable monthly fee, you can enjoy our Legends of the Game episodes, special category episodes, season 2 bloopers, and even more. That being said, you guys ready to dive into this episode?
Absolutely.
Let's rank.
All right, let's do it. All right, before we officially begin, just always got to put it out there. Please follow our show on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. It really makes a difference as we're building our Comparison Hoops community. We're going to start with the fundamental question that we always start with. And for today, we're trying to figure out which player of this current generation reminds us the most of Jason Kidd. And we came up with CP3 as the best comp. So I'm going to go to Lucas first. In your opinion, why are we comparing these players today?
Well, I'm not going to take the low-hanging fruit here, and I'm going to go with a different approach here. It's because they're point guards that impacted either small franchises or small markets in a big way in terms of winning and changing cultures there.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, it seems like those guys always, wherever they went, whatever they brought with them led to some type of winning season, even playoff appearances. So that's a good point. Maurice, what about you?
Two of the greatest facilitators, two of the greatest assist guards we've ever seen play. Listen, if you were a big man, you love playing with these 2 point guards.
I can't deny that. It makes all the sense in the world, both of those players. And Ben, why are we talking these players today?
Longevity. These guys, I mean, Chris Paul is still playing at a high level, and he is as old as LeBron James, and same high school class. He's still NBA starter level. He'll probably start, most likely he will start on the San Antonio Spurs this upcoming season. So just the longevity, and he's still chasing a ring, but Jason Kidd got one later in his career, so it is possible. So I would say that's the thing that stands out the most.
Yeah, whether it's longevity, whether it's being that prototypical point guard that Maurice pointed out. Like, players want to play with these types of point guards. I mean, I look at the fact that already they're both top 75 players. Think about that.
Mm-hmm.
And if you also look at they're not particularly big guards. They're not like 6'7", 6'8". So their size, I think they kind of overcame a lot of odds. And I mean, I think about the whole aspect of winning. And, you know, these players, they had the power to make NBA fans from other cities circle game dates on the calendar. I remember watching CP3 come to Philly, and I mean, he just put on a show. Even before pregame, I was out there. He was like by himself, and he was shooting threes in warmups like they were layups. I was like awestruck.
Something to mention before, just because I don't know if it'll come up. Chris Paul, probably within the first month of the season, will pass Jason Kidd for second all-time in assists.
Oh.
So right now they're second and third, yeah. So most likely he's only about 130 assists behind.
Nice.
So
we
yeah,
could totally do that.
That's something that's cool, yeah. Second and third, yeah.
I love that Ben is stealing Lucas's thunder.
Well, I mean, that was going to be Hall of Fame stuff that I wasn't going to bring up anyway. So that's actually, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
First quarter, background.
All right, guys, it's time to talk about the point god, a.k.a. the skate instructor, a.k.a. CP3. But before he got those nicknames, he was born Christopher Emmanuel Paul, May 6, 1985, in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. As a kid, Chris Paul's grandfather played a major role in his development. In a Harvard Business Review article, Paul was interviewed about the influence that impacted him so much. He said that his grandfather taught him the importance of hard work. And here's what he said. Quote, he had the first Black-owned service station in North Carolina. So me and my brother grew up pumping gas, rotating tires, and changing oil. We saw what real work looked like, and I'm grateful for it. In the interview, CP recalled having multiple coaches who helped him learn the game, including his dad. However, he credits his older brother for challenging him the most because he grew up always wanting to beat him in basketball. By the way, his brother CJ, guys, played college ball at the University of South Carolina, Spartanburg.
Oh, I've been to Spartanburg before. Nice town.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Quick trivia. Which of the following was not a part of Chris Paul's high school experience? A, class president. B, captain of the badminton team. Or C, quarterback for his high school team. Maurice, which one did he not do?
I'm going to go with badminton.
Okay. Ben?
I'm going to go, feels like a trick question, so I'm going to go quarterback.
All right, and Lucas.
So if I had to choose one, I'm going to say the badminton one. That just seems a little bit too, yeah, sure.
All right, Maurice and Lucas, this is for you.
Ooh,
And it did seem like a trick question, but he actually did play high school quarterback, and clearly being NBA Player Union president, he's like a leadership type of guy. So he was definitely class president from 10th to 12th grade. So CP was kind of Mr. Politics even in high school. Can anybody guess his favorite player growing up? Not necessarily a point guard.
Ooh. Well, he got like in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to guess Kobe Bryant.
He's from the East Coast.
North Carolina.
I'm going to go Iverson.
All right, Ben?
Also Iverson, the number 3 is why I think it's Iverson.
Okay. Actually, it was Michael Jordan.
No.
North Carolina.
Yeah, okay.
I was trying to give you a hint, Maurice.
Yeah, I know.
But like I bet, Ben, that makes sense. Number 3, Allen Iverson, point guard. So CP attended West Forsyth High School in North Carolina, where he led his team to a 27-3 record in the 4A Eastern Regional Finals. He was a 2003 Parade All-American, 2003 North Carolina High School Player of the Year, and a McDonald's All-American. Over under the points per game CP3 averaged his senior year, over under 32 points. Ben?
Under.
Maurice
I'm going to go under as well.
and Lucas.
I'm going to go over.
All right, Lucas, this for you.
Mm.
It was under.
Well, he had a really high scoring game for his grandpa, which I know I'm not trying to steal your thunder, but I know he can put up buckets.
That was my next part. It's all right. No, it's all right. Because you don't know do you know the number of points though?
Oh yeah.
All right, we'll save that for me at least.
Okay.
So he actually, Lucas, did score a lot his senior year. He averaged 30.8 points a game. How about assists per game? Over under 9 assists per game. Ben?
There's just not many minutes in high school basketball. 32, it's it. I'm going to go under. That's too many points. So probably 8, but just under.
All right, Maurice.
I'm going to go with Ben again. Yeah, under.
All right, Lucas.
I'll go under.
Okay, you are all correct. He did average, Ben, 8 assists per game. But guess what? His steals per game, he averaged 6 steals per game in high school.
Wow.
I don't think we've ever had a player average that many.
You know what though? If he's in like a smaller division, he probably had like some 12 or 13 steal games against bad teams.
Yeah.
So because in high school you do put up, like 100-point games.
I could see that, definitely. One more detail that Lucas alluded to earlier. When he was a senior, his grandfather was tragically killed. On the day of his funeral, Chris Paul scored 61 points in honor of his grandfather, 1 point for every year that his grandfather lived. So that being said, what stands out to you guys about CP growing up? Let's go with Maurice first.
Yeah, that in itself is a really special moment for Chris to do that for his grandfather. And I'm just going to assume that he had a big inspiration on his life.
Yeah, definitely. The work ethic that was mentioned earlier, I could see that. Ben?
I like the gas station and the history behind that. It was the first black owned. So he obviously has a lot of pride. I think you see that in his leadership. Learning to work that hard that young, he said, with his brothers, the gas station. So that's kind of what stands out.
With me, it has to be the relationship with his grandfather. I was really close to my grandpa, too. Granted, he didn't know anything about basketball besides Larry Bird was his favorite player.
Okay.
But outside of that, look, as somebody that was really close to his grandpa, too, like if my grandpa had passed away when I was in high school, I would have tried to do the same thing. Probably not good enough to do it, but I would have tried,
Right.
So.
Yeah. So on to his college years, CP3 decided to play college ball in his home state. Attending Wake Forest University, he was their point guard for 2 seasons, 2003 to 2005. He led the Demon Deacons to 48 wins and only 16 losses. In that span, he went to the NCAA tournament twice, going to the Sweet 16 in 2004. Over under his points per game at Wake Forest. Over under 14 points. Lucas?
It's over.
Over.
Yes, he averaged 15 points per game, and he also averaged 6.3 assists and 2.5 steals. One more over-under, 3-point percentage. Over under 45%. Let's go with Lucas.
That 45% on threes, that has to be under.
Ben?
Under.
And Maurice.
I'm actually go over just off low value.
All right, let's go with Maurice. You are correct.
Wow.
Chris Paul.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, his 3-point percentage was really good, 45%.
Yeah.
So he was definitely oh no, wait. No, over under was 45. No, he was over and he shot 47%.
How many
3.
attempts per game?
That's what I was saying, volume.
If I can recall, it wasn't like low. I think he had a good number. I think it's a respectable volume, if that's what you're thinking.
Respectable volume now or respectable volume for back then?
Well, I guess if you look at the totality of all the games he played, I think he played probably 29, 30 games. I can't remember per season. So I'm pretty sure it was a pretty good volume. And look, he was always a good shooter in the NBA and college. In his second season, he was named consensus first-team All-American. National Association of Basketball Coaches Player of the Year, and first team All ACC, All Defensive Team as a sophomore, third team as a freshman. He was named ACC Rookie of the Year and National Freshman of the Year by College Insider. By the time the 2005 NBA draft was coming around, CP was all ready to become a pro, getting drafted in the first round by New Orleans.
With the 4th pick in the 2004 NBA draft, the New Orleans Hornets select Chris Paul from Wake Forest University.
I don't doubt that Byron Scott and the rest of the brain trust in New Orleans are smiling to get Chris Paul, sophomore out of Wake Forest, 2005 first team All-American, the third Demon Deacon taken in the top 5 all-time, the first one since Tim Duncan was taken number 1 overall back in 1997. That one, by the way, worked out pretty well for San Antonio. In that suit featuring black and gold, the Wake Forest colors, Chris Paul, the sophomore, comes from Wake Forest to New Orleans with his 4th overall selection.
All right, Lucas, what stands out to you about Chris Paul at Wake Forest?
Well, so 2000, right during that time, he was, he took the Demon Deacons to the NCAA tournament.
Right. I
remember him going against Mike Gansey and the West Virginia Mountaineers, Kevin Pittsnogle, that whole crew. Mike Gansey, now the GM of the Cleveland Cavaliers. Just want to throw that out there. Okay. But so I remember those battles. Another interesting thing, and I don't know if there was an interview with CP, and I forget where it was with. Maybe it was with All the Smoke. I don't remember the interview, but I remember him saying he did not want to be drafted by the Hornets.
Oh,
he even told them that he would prefer not to get drafted. He wanted to get drafted by, I think, the Bobcats.
Really? I guess he wanted to stay home, I guess.
Yeah, or somewhere else. I forget. Who were the other teams ahead of? No, it was Atlanta. He wanted to go to Atlanta or Utah because he wanted to be the first point guard. He wanted to be the first point guard.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I didn't know those. And
yeah, he did not want to go to the. Like, if he was going to drop, he wanted to drop low enough to go to his hometown, like Atlanta or to.
The irony of New Orleans being the Hornets, right? And then Charlotte Bobcats. So
yeah, that was the whole Hurricane Katrina.
Yeah, that's right. Ben, what stood out to you?
From his college? I remember him in college. He was literally my year of high school. So, when you're younger, I mean, I watched a lot of college basketball. This is kind of the last era that I consistently watched. And he just had a lot of control over the game. And he was pretty NBA ready. He could have left after his freshman year. Yeah, he's in that era. We always think of like Carmelo, D Wade, the 2003 draft, but he's technically like kind of in that era as well. Yeah. And we forget about him sometimes with that. And I'm glad we're doing this episode just to show how great he is. Yeah. Even though not a lot of times people don't win chips. It has to do with circumstance. It's not the player.
Yeah. So he's part of that banana boat crew, Ben. Him and D Wade. He's okay. Yeah, they're all good friends.
That's why I thought he was. That's why I thought he was going to go to the Lakers this offseason. Because
yeah,
it is interesting. He went. I mean, you got to be happy, I guess. Like he's been ring chasing for a minute, so yeah.
And what about you, Maurice? Wake Forest, CP.
Well, what I remember about Wake Forest was it kind of when he moved to the NBA, it was the same thing. Was he carried his Wake Forest team? I remember the second year they were the number 2 seed, and keep in mind that Wake Forest team didn't have another NBA player on it, so he had to really carry that team. Now they didn't make it to Final Four or anything, but I do remember the Wake Forest team being really competitive with Chris Paul, and we knew that he was going to be a really good NBA prospect.
Yeah. To me, to be honest, Ben, I didn't watch. I don't remember Chris Paul as a college player. I don't know why. Maybe I missed the tournament that year. I wasn't paying close enough attention. But just looking at his stats, showing that even at a young age, he was a good shooter. And usually coming into the NBA, the knock on a lot of young players is they don't know how to shoot yet. but CP just always had a good shooting form. His free throw percentage was always good going back to college. So yeah, he was a really great college player. And as was mentioned in the clip, I mean, the first player to go in the top 5 since Tim Duncan. So if you're in that company, then you're doing pretty good.
He's famously not in a good draft, they say, Chris Paul. The fact that he went 4th is kind of, if you look back at the draft.
All right, now it's time to talk about Mr. Triple Double, a.k.a. the Engine, a.k.a. the Kid, or a.k.a. just J Kidd. Before he got those nicknames, he was born Jason Frederick Kidd on March 23rd, 1973 in San Francisco, California. As a child, Kidd started playing soccer and then went into basketball around the 3rd grade. He got so good that by the time he was in 9th grade, he was the talk of the town, according to Frank Laporte, who went on to become Kidd's high school coach. Laporte saw Kidd for the first time at a youth basketball summer tournament and was blown away. He told the San Francisco Chronicle, quote, "He did some things that amazed college coaches. One approached me and wondered if he was a junior. I said, no, he's a freshman." Who knows which 2 NBA players Jason Kidd tried to emulate when he was in high school? I'll go with Ben first. Who was he trying to play like?
Magic Johnson. He's from Northern California, but I imagine he was a Lakers fan, so I'm going to say Magic Johnson.
All right. Lucas, who did he try to be like?
So there are 2. Magic Johnson feels like one of them. He probably grew up during that era. The other one, that's tough, right? I'm going to say...
He's a point guard. He's another point guard.
Another point guard? Oh, okay. Then Isaiah Thomas, probably.
All right. Maurice?
Yeah, I think all of us are going to agree on Magic. And the second one, I don't know, Larry Bird. Let's take a stab at it.
All right. I'll give you guys a point for Magic.
Yeah.
But the other point guard that he wanted to play like, Gary Payton.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
Gary Payton. Those 2 are pretty tight as they were both coming into the league as young players. So Kidd attended St. Joseph High in Alameda, California. He led his team to 2 consecutive championships. As a senior, Jason Kidd won the Naismith Award as the top high school senior in the nation, while also being the Parade Magazine and USA Today Player of the Year. Over under points per game his high school year. Let's go with Lucas. 30 points per game, over under.
Just say under.
Under.
I think I remember I'm going to say over. I think I remember hearing he was like insane scoring.
All right, Ben, this is for you. And he averaged 25 points per game. How about assists per game? Over under 9 assists. Ben?
Over.
Maurice?
Over.
And Lucas?
Under.
All right, Lucas, this is for you. He averaged 10 assists per game. That's very rare. Like, we've talked about a lot of good point guards on our show, and rarely do we see a kid average more than double-digit assists. And he also averaged 7 rebounds and 7 steals per game. Go figure. One more thing about Gary Payton. In his Players Tribune article, Kidd said that he met him while he was still at Oregon State. He admitted that Payton would always talk his ear off, but he appreciated any advice that the glove would give him. Any thoughts on Jason Kidd's high school career? Anything that you guys know that I didn't mention? Maurice?
Well, in the bio for the nicknames, you said Mr. Triple Double. He was pretty close to triple doubles in high school.
Yeah.
So that attributes, those attributes is probably just going to get better as he went on to college.
Yeah, Mr. Triple Double, even close with steals, right, Lucas?
Yeah.
I mean, just the output of assists per game in high school. Nobody does that anymore. Nobody. Yeah, no, it's the assists easily.
Yeah. Ben?
I'm going to say the assist. And also his game is kind of it feels like it didn't change that much.
Right.
I know his shot got better Yeah, I'm curious what he shot. What did he shoot it for 3 in high school? Do they have that?
I was not able to track that down, but I mean, we all know like he was not the best shooter, even when he was in college, and I'll get into that in a minute.
Yeah.
But to that point, you guys mentioned assists. Maurice, you said it earlier when we first started. Teammates, in terms of wanting to play with a guy like Jason Kidd or Chris Paul, both of these guys were always looking to get teammates involved as early as high school, and I think that style kind of lent itself to people being attracted to their unselfishness. Now, according to his own website, jasonkidd.com, colleges around the country wanted Kidd. We all know that he went to Cal Berkeley, but do you know the other main option school that he considered? I'll give you a hint. It was in the Midwest.
Midwest? And he went to college in the 90s?
Yeah. Big school.
Texas?
Kansas.
Michigan.
All right, Ben, this is for you. Kansas was his second choice, or it was the top 3. So his reason for staying in California was so that his parents could watch him play. Prior to arriving at Cal, the school was 10-18, which was 9th in the Pac-10. By the end of his first season, he led them to a 21-9 record while becoming the National Freshman of the Year. The Bears also went to the NCAA tournament for only the second time in 3 decades. As a sophomore, he went back to the NCAA tournament. He was named the Pac-10 Player of the Year while breaking Kevin Johnson's assist and steal record the same year. On the way to the Sweet 16, Jason Kidd hit 2 game-winning shots, one against LSU and the other against Duke. His numbers by the end of his college career look like this: 14.9 points, 8.4 assists, and 5.9 boards per game. Over under, you guys were talking about shooting percentage. Over under shooting percentage, 3-point, I'll give you 32%. Ben, over under 3-point.
College, I'm going to go over.
I'll go with Ben, too. I'll say over.
I'll be different. I'll go under.
All right. This is for Lucas and Ben. He shot 33%, which is, I guess, not bad for him as a college player. So after racking up a number of college awards, Jason Kidd declared for the NBA draft, and he was chosen by the Dallas Mavericks.
You do remember the process of going to Minnesota, going to Dallas. I do remember working out here for Dunleavy, and understanding that my dream was going to come true, and that I could end up in one of these spots. The big talk, I don't think, was about one. I think it was about 2 between me and Grant. Was Grant going to go to Dallas, or was Grant going to Detroit? And then to hear my name called was just a dream come true.
The Dallas Mavericks select Jason Kidd from the University of California. Jason Kidd.
Oh, that's goosebumps, because you get to hear your name. Just understanding that, when you hear your name, that all the hard work that you put in as a kid is paid off.
Can you believe all this has happened? When did you dream that this was what you wanted to do and the dream may be realized?
Well, this has always been a childhood dream for myself, but to be living it right now, I can't believe it. And I think after tomorrow, I'll really realize what's happening.
I think once you hear your name, you feel like, hey, I made it. Now I can exhale. The problem is the marathon has just begun, and you think it's a 40-yard dash.
Ben, Jason Kidd's college career, what comes to mind when you think of it?
I actually didn't know. I'm pretty familiar with drafts of the 90s. I didn't know he went second, and he went ahead of Grant. Hell, that is, and Juwan Howard. Because Juwan Howard had a very good college career and beginning of his NBA career.
Yeah.
Can we say the 94 draft was a little underrated?
It's weird because a lot of these drafts outside of 96, they're not deep, so they're top heavy. But yeah, I would say it's underrated because you're like, oh, Glenn Robinson went number 1 over these guys, and you're like, but he was pretty good. Robinson.
Yeah, he was balling at Purdue. I agree. Maurice, what stands out to you about Jason Kidd?
Well, he was always compared to Grant Hill because Grant Hill went right after him. They both were known for their triple doubles. Grant Hill's career was a little shorter. They both retired the same year. They both went in the Hall of Fame the same year.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. That's a good grab.
Did Grant get to go in because of his college stuff, though, right? Probably.
Yeah. Basketball
Probably. Yeah.
No, Lucas, Grant Hill, though, I think he was all NBA first team. His first 5 seasons.
Yeah, but like 5 seasons shouldn't be in. Okay, anyway, we're not talking about Grant Hill. Not a Grant Hill pod. Not this time.
No, but he was top 3, top 5 player in the league for a few years.
Yeah, he was.
I agree. Yeah, he would. Well, like you said, Lucas, let's stick to the plan here. Lucas, what stands out to you about Jason Kidd in college?
He probably was the only bright spot outside of like a brief Jaylen Brown stint in Cal basketball history. Like they haven't had much, but they had him and they had Jaylen Brown, and that's about it. Oh, and Aaron Rodgers technically, but that's football.
So Cal, I know a little bit about. It's considered an outside Ivy. It's a private school, so Cal and Stanford, you have to be pretty smart to go to.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I just remember Jason Kidd when I was in high school when he was coming into the NBA, and there was such a hype around him. And we mentioned earlier, I think it was Lucas, about Magic Johnson. Oh no, that was Maurice's segment, being compared to Magic. And yeah, he was the ultimate floor general, even in college, getting guys involved, running fast breaks, and pretty clutch too. Like, what stood out to me is he hit those, and you can watch it on YouTube. He hit some really clutch shots in those NCAA tournaments against some big teams. So he had that clutch gene in him, and that translated to the NBA. All right, that's the background on our 2 comparison players, Jason Kidd and CP3. Lucas, you ready to do some stats, man?
Oh, absolutely. Let's go.
Second quarter. Statistics.
1-2 pick and roll. Harden and Paul. Oh, Chris Paul. Ooh, it's got to go in, Smitty. It's got to go in, Smitty. You are the president of Smitty's top plays under the rim. Can that go as a nominee, Smitty?
Yes, it can. I mean, he crossed over the entire gym.
Didn't have the shot he wanted. Gives it up to CP3. Oh, great behind the back pass, and Capella finishes it off. What a play.
Green on Green. Again, the switch, and West has got the defensive assignment. Paul with the bounce. West may have turned it for success.
Look at all that space he's got to operate in. Chris Paul puts it off the glass. 4 seconds left to play. Chris Paul says, "Ride me to the house." Oh, it's good. Paul has to force one. At 59, and Chris Paul going into the body of Steph Curry. Back to Paul with 2, with 1 from midcourt for 3. Big shot, bingo!
Those are the highlights, and here are the numbers. Chris Paul stands at 6 foot and 175 pounds. Don't see that too much more in today's NBA. Though I will say, I think there is a Gilliard kid in Memphis that's like 5'8", but like outside of that, anything below like 6'3" is considered too short in today's NBA.
Yeah.
So that's impressive right there.
Very.
He's worn number 3 at every stop so far. However, there is a teammate with the Spurs that currently has his number 3. Which teammate is that?
I know it is.
On the Spurs right now?
Yes, and this player wore number 3. In part, he chose number 3 to wear in the NBA because of Chris Paul.
Oh, so he's got to be a guard then, I would assume.
I'll give
Devin
you
Vassell? That's my guess, Vassell.
Well, I'll give you one more hint.
All right.
He has been in and out of the starting lineup for the Spurs during his career.
Keon Johnson?
Keon Johnson does not play for the Spurs.
Devin Vassell.
So I was right.
Keldon
Johnson.
Keldon
Johnson. Maurice was right. Yeah,
Maurice is name wrong.
Yeah.
It's Keldon Johnson. So we don't know if CP3 is going to continue wearing number 3, but he has worn it at every stop so far.
Except San Antonio.
Yeah,
we don't know if he's going to wear it in San Antonio. When they did his introductory press conference, he did not reveal his jersey at the time.
He's got to pay respects to the OG and give up that number.
He's going to have to switch his car insurance to State Farm.
Yes.
In order to get his jersey. Yeah.
All right. From State Farm.
So, if I'm being honest, finding the best season for both these point guards is near impossible because a lot of their seasons were elite and very similar, if I'm being honest. So, this was hard. I like this. No lies. Right. This was really hard. I almost said no cap, but I'm a millennial, so I'm not allowed to say that.
The tiebreaker has to be that they win the most that season.
Well, I usually go by stats, then followed by like where did they rank in like either awards or MVP rankings and all that stuff.
Okay,
but I decided to like I said, the MVP is not like where they ranked in the MVP that year did not determine that for me this time.
Right.
So I'm going to go with the 08-09 season.
That's what I thought. That was a great season.
I mean, 07-08 was very close too. It was between those two, if I'm being honest.
Mm-hmm.
So I went with the 2008-2009 season. He averaged a shade under 23 points per game, 11 assists, almost 3 steals per game. Barely a block, like 0.1. 3 turnovers. He also shot 50% from the field, which by and far is his best season shooting from the field ever.
Wow.
36% from 3, which is for his career is about career average. And almost 87% from the free throw line. And his career averages right now are 17.5 points, 9.4 assists, 2 steals, while shooting 47% from the field on essentially 37% from the three-point line. I'm going to start with Maurice. What are your takeaways from the career stats and the best season stats?
Well, that best season, what was his assist again?
11. That's not even the highest assist that he ever had per game either, believe it or not.
The fact that he averaged 11 while only averaging 3 turnovers really stands out to me because you can be a great assist man like he is and his counterpart here, Jason Kidd, but the turnovers, you can turn the ball over a lot. There's a lot of great passers who just turn the ball over a lot.
3 turnovers per game was the highest he ever had for his career in a single season. His career average on turnovers per game is only 2.3.
Wow. So he takes care of the ball and he feeds his players. I mean, what more can you ask for?
Ben, what do you think?
That's really impressive. I didn't realize I remember that season. I think it was the Hornets still, right?
Yeah, they were still the New Orleans Hornets, yes.
Yeah. Fun fact, I lived in Oklahoma City. I was working for my uncle in 2006. And all the buzz was about that team.
Buzz Hornets.
All the buzz. No, I didn't do that on purpose. But it was interesting because the town was like they sold out every game because they never had a professional. So that led to the Thunder. So I remember in 2006, they were temporarily there because of in Oklahoma. If they were there for a year because of Hurricane Katrina,
they were there for 2 years. Actually,
2 years, and they sold out every game. So it was all anyone talked about, and so that led to the Thunder. I didn't really see average that many points because that team was pretty loaded. That's 50%.
There are only 2 seasons that he averaged over 20 points per game.
Yeah.
So, and Uriah.
So, I think being stingy with the ball is something that he is known for, not turning the ball over. He, just like Jason Kidd, very meticulous with his passes. If you watch any of their highlights, whether they're feeding the post or on the break, whatever small window they have to get the ball to a teammate, they got it there, and they got it there with consistency. So I think, to me, though, the scoring over 20 points, Lucas, I recall watching Chris Paul playing in New Orleans in the playoffs during that time period because Utah kind of was good at the same time and obviously the Spurs. But I think, CP he's always been able to produce and get others involved. So I'm not surprised.
It's really interesting with the scoring. And I think this is where, because this was at the point 2008, 2009, this is where him and Darren Williams were fighting for that best point guard. And we talked about Darren Williams last season. So when we think about that, this is where they were competing for it. And I think the difference, and this is where I think CP surpassed Darren Williams, was the fact that Darren Williams started to focus more on his scoring than his playmaking. And I think that's in CP, like I said, he averaged for his career 9.4. And even last season when he was coming off the bench for the Warriors, he averaged 6.8 in just 26 minutes per game. If he was playing normal minutes like he had up until that point, he probably would have had close to what he had the last few seasons in Phoenix.
That's really impressive. I didn't know he had averaged 6 with the Golden State Warriors.
And he was 38. 38.
And he might get over. He might get over 10 next year.
Oh, you think?
And he might.
Yeah, it just depends on how much he plays and how healthy he is. That's the key.
It's always about health.
Yeah, and with the Warriors, he wasn't even the main ball handler.
Right.
So
you want to back a point guard?
The last time he averaged 10 assists per game was when he was 36.
I think he can get back up there this year.
Wow, 36.
Yeah.
And even his last season with Phoenix, he was still averaging 8.9, which is well within his range of being able to playmate. There was only 4 seasons that he did not average at least 8 assists per game. His rookie season, his first season in Houston, his season with the OKC Thunder, and this past season.
Okay.
That's crazy if you think about it.
That is crazy.
So anyway, those are just like some of the stats. And like I said, I think as long as health pertains, like he still has his touch. He still has like the field goal percentage is slightly coming down a little bit, but I'm not too worried about that, honestly. Like the 3-point percentage is still there. So, it'll be interesting to see, one, if he starts in San Antonio this season, and two, how healthy he can be at 39 years old, because he's one of the oldest players in the NBA, not named LeBron James. So that being said, let's go to the career highs now. Over under 45 points as a career high for Chris Paul. I'll start with Uriah.
45. I think that's kind of high. I'm going to go under.
Ben?
Under.
Maurice?
I'm going to go under.
You are all...
Okay.
Yeah, got one right.
Good call, yeah.
See that, Maurice?
43.
You got to follow my lead, man.
43.
It's a lot of effort for him to score. Like, he's good. I know that's like a weird...
He is 6 foot.
That's a good point,
It's
Ben.
a lot of effort and, like, hustle, and it's kind of inspiring.
Okay, this is a good one. Over under 12 total rebounds as a career high. I'll start with Ben.
Over.
Since this intrigues you so much, I'm going to go over.
I'll go over.
Yeah, you all are correct. It's 13.
Okay.
That's impressive.
Okay.
Yeah.
For a guy 6 foot.
Yeah. Very.
Yeah. And then for his career highs in assist, I'm just going to tell you guys this. It's 21.
Yeah. Okay.
It's 21.
I thought it would have been higher, though. 21.
He reached that his third season, his first season back in New Orleans. So that's interesting. 9 steals as a career high. I felt like that should have been higher. I thought he could have gotten a triple-double with the steals at one point. 3 blocks, which is impressive for a 6-footer. 3 blocks in a single game for a 6-footer. That actually happened in 2019, 2020.
Okay.
And he's like 34 at that point. So.
Yeah. There's a good highlight. You can see top 10 highlights. He actually blocked a game-winning shot against some young point guard, and was like, oh, man, CP got a block to save the game. So
Yeah. And then 8 turnovers, which for a point guard is pretty impressive for a guy that has the ball in his hands that much. At only a career high of 8 turnovers. That only happened in one season. So what are your guys' takeaways from the career highs?
The blocks.
3 blocks?
A 6-foot guard blocking 1 shot. Okay. That might be a fluke, great timing. But 3 blocks in a game from a 6-foot guard who's known for, getting steals but not really blocks.
Yeah.
I think that's impressive.
Okay. Uriah?
Yeah, I'm going to say the points. Anytime a guy under 6, he's 6 feet, right?
Yeah, he's 6 feet.
So a guy 6 feet tall.
That's probably being generous if we're being honest.
Well, anyone that short compared to NBA, where it's a game, you're playing amongst the trees, and like Ben was saying, it probably exerts a lot of energy. It's a lot for him to score. So that stands out to me. And I would also add real quick, I would say Chris Paul is probably the most important player in the past 20 years for guys of average height. Like everyone here, I think we're like 6 foot or under. If you look at the NBA top 75 list, there's probably only a handful of guys Chris Paul size. Isaiah Thomas, John Stockton, Allen Iverson. So you look at what he's able to do, blocks, steals, assists. Chris Paul really overcame a lot of odds, and one of them was his physical stature.
Yeah, because outside of him, there aren't the only guys that are in that range of height that has impacted the NBA even close, and I say close as a relative term,
right? Would
be Isaiah Thomas with the Celtics for like that 2-year run. And then Nate Robinson. But that's more for the highlight reel than, I mean, like Nate was good, but like, you know.
I guess nothing really jumps out. I would say I thought the assist career high would be higher. That's the stat. That's the stat that jumps out the most. I thought that because Chris Paul is kind of a traditional point guard from the past where we're just talking about athleticism. He does have, it's interesting you said he played high school football. He does have an NBA body, and that's kind of kept in the league a long while. Like he's able to guard guys. So Chris Paul is not very athletic.
He's stocky.
Yeah, and so that is, he uses kind of everything he has, and I think his weight and size, even for his height and lack of athleticism, allows him to still not get played off the court. But yeah, I thought the assist would be closer to like 24, 25.
Yeah, I was surprised too about that.
Yeah.
Say about Jason Kidd, he'll battle you all night long. Jason Kidd on the drive and he slams it home, and that'll put the capper on it. A new career high. He just keeps adding to it. 38 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists for Jason Kidd.
The three on the way has swished for Jason Kidd.
Kidd on the move, sweep past to Mashburn, and he laid it in.
Off the dribble, penetrates, feeds the cutter. Lorenzo Williams open for the slam. And another pretty pass from Jason Kidd. Wow.
Underneath Jackson. And a foul. How about that pass?
Here comes Jason Kidd, bouncing to McLeod, who lays it up and in. That was a beautiful pass by Kidd.
Kidd off the drive. Oh, Jason! How about that play? We'll shoot up a three. He got it!
So those were the highlights. Here's the numbers. Jason Kidd is significantly taller than Chris Paul. He's 6'4", comes in at 205. Okay, definitely a size disadvantage there for Chris Paul. Jason Kidd has worn multiple jerseys throughout his career, but has worn 3 numbers. With Phoenix, he wore 32. But with Dallas, he actually wore 2 different numbers. Can you guys tell me what those 2 different numbers were?
I know one because I used to have his jersey in high school.
Okay, well,
one
what's
of them is number 5.
Okay. What's the other one?
I have no idea.
Ben or Maurice, do you guys know?
I only knew 5. I'm going to say 11.
I'll go 1.
Okay. First in, I'll give you guys a thumbs up, but thumbs down on the second one. It was number 2. Maurice was the closest, though.
Oh, okay. It makes sense now.
Yeah. So he wore 5 with the Mavericks, 32 with the Suns, 5 with the Nets, 2 with the Mavs, and 5 with the Knicks.
Okay.
So I thought that was interesting. Like I said, it was very hard to choose a best year for J. Kidd, if I am being honest. The season that I chose, he didn't even make the All-Star team that year. Well, he did get other award considerations. I'm not trying to steal Ben's thunder there. But he averaged 16.9 points, 10.8 assists, 6.8 rebounds, 2.3 steals, 3 turnovers, 0.4 blocks. He shot 44% from the field, 36.5% from the three-point line, and almost 76% from the foul line. That was the 98-99 season, his second full season with the Suns. Career stats were 12.5 points, 8.7 assists, shade under 2 steals, 2.9 turnovers while shooting 40% from the field, 34.9% from the three-point line, and 78% from the foul. What are your takeaways from those 2 stat lines?
Now, you said that was 97-98, correct?
That was, 98, 99. So that was the lockout season. That's why he didn't make the All-Star game.
First thing that popped out to me was, I think him and Chris Paul had the same assist-to-turnover ratio, 8-3.
Chris had 11, and Kidd had just a shade under 11. So essentially the same, yeah.
11-3, yeah. That jumped out to me initially. Once again, a player who knew what to do with the basketball, didn't turn it over, facilitated well. The difference between him and Chris Paul, I would say, Jason Kidd came into the league. He had some good teammates. And I'll get into that in my segment. But he had a little bit more talent around him compared to Chris. So that jumps out to me.
The whole idea of him putting up those numbers the way he did in Phoenix, a lot of people either remember him with Dallas or with the Knicks because, it's New York, and then Dallas, he won a championship. So the numbers don't surprise me. I just think about what Maurice was alluding to, knowing what to do with the ball. So it just makes sense that he has it's like a sixth sense. He has this awareness. If you watch a lot of his highlights, he really does a lot of adjusting on a fast break, whether it's when he jumps in the air, which is a no-no. And we're taught that as kids, don't jump in the air unless you know what you're doing with the ball. But he had that knack of making the right pass midair, or he had good touch around the rim, putting up a reverse layup, going the opposite way, contorting his body. So I'm not surprised by any of those numbers, just knowing what Maurice was saying. Always knew what to do with the ball.
At first, I was shocked the scoring was so low, but Jason Kidd did play with a lot of other, probably Chris Paul later in his career with the Suns, played with more All-Stars, but I don't think because those Nets teams, when he was in his prime, he never had to score. I guess that makes sense. But yeah, it was a different league too, but I thought his best season would have been over 20 points.
I think that's really interesting. I'm going to tell you the other season that really stuck out to me real quick was the 01-02 season, his first season with the Nets. Didn't put up the gaudy numbers. He didn't even lead the league in any categories that year. But he had almost 15 points per game, just a shade under 10 assists a game, almost 7.5 rebounds per game. Didn't shoot well from the field or the three-point line. But foul line, he shot 81%. The thing that sticks out to me is, I would say that's the season that he probably got closest to averaging a quote-unquote triple-double, which I think was impressive to the NBA at the time. And I bring up triple-doubles, and Uriah, I'm going to veer left here, because CP3 didn't really do this, but Jason Kidd did, and I have to bring this up. The career triple-doubles. He was one of the few guys that were like a triple-double machine before it became more commonplace in the modern NBA. So let me ask you guys this: over under 100 career triple doubles.
Over under?
Wow.
Yeah.
That was his nickname, so I'll go over.
Over.
I'll go over.
It's 107. He did have 2 seasons with double-digit assists. Triple doubles, and that was the 06-07, 07-08 season.
Nice.
That was later on in his career as well.
And just to put this in perspective, the 07-08 season, he got traded 51 games into the season. He had 12 of those 13 in the first 51 games, and then he only had 1 more for the rest of the season. After that, he really dropped off. But still, it's mind-boggling. That NBA, that was really hard to do, especially for guard to be rebounding, because you have bigger power forwards that would chew up more rebounds at the time.
People get more triple doubles now because they shoot quicker on the shot clock. The pace is quicker, so not putting an asterisk on current triple doubles, but there's going to be way more triple doubles because of that.
That's what made Jason Kidd the player that he was, a special player, because nowadays the players today are just, they have all of the skill sets, to do a triple double. Not even equating Russell Westbrook into it. Just all the players, they're taught from a young age, shoot, rebound, pass the ball, everything. But Jason Kidd did it in an era where it was still special.
Yeah, I remember as a kid growing up, that was a big deal. Magic was the king of triple doubles. And then the comparison of J. Kidd coming out of college, he definitely filled those shoes and he kept going with it because he was so skilled. And I remember, Scottie Pippen would get some triple doubles here and there. Obviously, Grant Hill, but Jason Kidd was very consistent in the 90s getting triple doubles.
Okay, fair enough, guys. These guys share one same stat in career highs. I'm going to ask you guys which one you guys think it is before we get started. So I'll start with Ben. What do you think is the shared stat for career high?
Points.
Maurice?
Let's just go with assists. Why not?
Uriah?
I'll go with assist.
Ben, you are correct.
Oh, okay.
43.
Okay.
That's crazy if you think about it. That's I mean, not really, because they're not score first guys. So 43 as a career high, especially in that era, is totally acceptable in my opinion. Jason Kidd had a career high in rebounds of 19, so much more than CP. Nobody's surprised there. Assist. Jason Kidd's career high in assist over under CP's 21 career high in assists in a single game.
I'll say I'm gonna go over.
Over.
You are all correct. It's 25.
Oh, okay.
And he did that in his second season with the Dallas Mavericks.
Okay.
The first stint, second season.
They were run and gun.
Now, I don't understand this. Why did Mark Cuban didn't own the team at that point, did he? Well, that's why they traded him, because who did they even trade him for?
Jason Kidd was traded with Tony Dumas and Lorenzen Meyer for Michael Finley, AC Green, and Sam Cassell.
Okay. Well, Sam Cassell and AC Green and
Michael Finley was a good player.
Michael Finley
was really good back
then. Yeah.
That makes sense at the time.
Okay. So outside of the 25 assists, he had 7 steals as a career high, 4 blocks, only one more than CP, which I'm kind of upset about because, J Kidd, come on. You're 4 inches taller than him. Anyway, what are your reactions to the career highs, guys?
I would say, sorry, you said, what was it, 19 rebounds?
19 rebounds, yeah.
That's pretty impressive, especially with the spacing back then. He was kind of the only guy doing it at the end. People do it now.
And Rajon Rondo, I would say, towards the end, because Russell Westbrook hadn't hit his prime yet. So, yeah, it was those two doing it at that point.
Yeah, he was doing it way before all those guys, though. I'm talking.
Oh, yeah, he was doing it way before. Yeah. I'm just saying, at the end of his career, it was just him and Rajon, I would say. But,
so that the total rebound high and the triple doubles were stand out.
Okay, maybe LeBron a little bit. Maurice.
I think it is funny that they both had 43 as a career high in points.
I think that's funny, too.
Yeah, it is funny. And for Jason Kidd, he played in the 90s era where, you didn't have to score, especially for the point guard position. Mm-hmm. You didn't have to score, a lot of points.
To be considered an elite point guard, yeah.
Yeah, now you do, but like you mentioned earlier. But back then, you didn't. And for him to do that, plus the 25 assists, I can easily say he was probably the second best point guard of his era, behind Stockton.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll say blocks, not just because you were so incredulous about it, because CP only was 1 behind him. But yeah, I would think that he'd have maybe a few more blocks as a game high, just because I think there were a lot more shorter point guards.
Yeah, he was considered a supersized for his time. Yeah,
right. So if he's playing against shorter point guards, whether it's Stockton or Isaiah Thomas, he had that 4-inch advantage, and but 4 blocks. That's not what he's known for.
Fair enough. All right, yeah, no, I think for me it's the 19 rebounds. He did the 19 rebounds in his 12th season in 07-08. He was no spring chicken at that point, and he was able to do it. So that's the impressive part for me. Look, both of these guys are great, and I'm going to sound like an old head one more time. I really wish that we could go back to point guards being more valued for their playmaking than their scoring now. If guys say TJ McConnell in today's NBA were allowed to play the minutes that these guys played, he's not much of a 3-point shooter, so of course he's not going to get that much burn. He's not much of a scorer, so but if he did, he would probably put up similar numbers to these guys, in my opinion here. But that's just
point. Ben, you ready for some accolades, man?
I'm ready.
I'm closing my computer.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Third quarter, accolades.
That bruised right kneecap. Paul for three. Chris Paul has been sensational. Paul backs it up. By the 7-footer.
I love it.
Paul for three. Oh, my goodness. That seals it.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, he's got to be the MVP.
That's your man.
He has to be.
Chris Paul is the most valuable player of the 2013 NBA All-Star Game.
All right, guys. I'm not mad that you guys have given away some of these accolades because there are too many. So let's just get it. Like,
I didn't even have time to read all of them. There were a lot.
I gotta admit, I did the clip. I was like, damn, I'm stealing Ben's thunder with the clip.
So Chris Paul is still playing. He is 39 years old. Same high school class as LeBron James. So we talk a lot about LeBron James' longevity, but Chris Paul, is still playing at a high level. I mean, he's an NBA starter pretty much.
Yeah.
He wasn't because he was playing behind Steph Curry in Golden State, but he probably would have started on 24, 25 other NBA teams.
Agreed.
Yeah, definitely.
So the clip we just heard is his NBA All-Star Game MVP. It's his only MVP that he's won. It was in 2013. He finished 5th in MVP voting in the 08-09 season. That's the season that Lucas referenced.
Yeah.
Did he ever finish higher than that, Lucas?
Was he 08? I think he was second once. Give me 1 second. I'm going to pull it up now.
Yeah, was it the 08 season? I know there's a season. I just know.
He finished third in the 2011-2012, and then second in the 07-08 season. So the season that I chose he was 5th in that.
Who won that 08 season? Because they say that was stolen from him.
That was Kobe's.
So he's been an NBA finalist a couple of times, and Kobe needed to get one. But Chris Paul has never won an MVP, which is kind of surprising because he's been on playoff teams consistently. How many times has Chris Paul been an All-Star? I will start off with, think about, he's played like pretty much 19 seasons. So, Maurice, how many times?
A whole lot. Does that count as an answer?
Okay. If I was your teacher, I'd give you an X on that answer.
A whole lot.
15.
Okay. Lucas?
I'm going to say 14.
All right. And Uriah?
And I'm going to say 14 and a half.
You would also get an X.
No, you guys are all wrong.
Oh.
It's 12. It's 12.
Really? It feels like he should have been in more.
Yeah.
So this is what's interesting is he took a 5-year break in the middle of his career. So he...
Oh, when he played with James Harden, then went to OKC and is probably...
Yeah. So that OKC lockout season, which, I mean, looking back...
They still had an All-Star game that season, but yeah.
It sounds like he should have made 14 and 15. And in the James Harden years, he was sharing the ball with Harden.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
And like I said, his most recent one was 2000 when his first
recently,
season. Yeah. 36 years old.
Yeah, 2022 is an All-Star. So in the Phoenix Suns iteration, he has made the All-Star team 3 times. So Chris Paul was an All-Star for 9 straight seasons, starting his 3rd season in the NBA. So in his 3rd season in the NBA, he was 2nd in MVP voting.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So it was only his 3rd year in the league, and he almost won the MVP. He lost it to...
who did he lose it to?
Kobe Bryant. That was Kobe's one and only MVP.
Okay.
It was 08, right?
Yeah, but Chris Paul at 23 years old almost won the MVP. How many times has Chris Paul been an All-NBA player?
This is tough because he's played with 2 generations of great point guards.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, can you give us at least an over? Is it over under 10?
Yeah, give us an over under.
Over 10.
Okay.
Over 10.
Okay.
Over 10.
Okay, that helps.
First, second, or third team, over 10.
I'm going to say 11.
Okay. And Maurice.
I'm going to go 13.
Uriah.
I'll go 12.
Okay. Lucas, you are correct.
Yes. I didn't know
11.
I didn't know that one, I guess.
Yeah.
11, and he was a 4-time All-NBA first team, which is pretty impressive. So this, of course, the 2008 season, and then 3 straight years, 2012, 2014. So his best basketball was with the Hornets / Pelicans. His best basketball.
So on Basketball Reference, they have the team's initials there, so it's NOH.
Okay.
That's how I know that it's the Hornets versus the Pelicans.
Yeah, I was leaning towards that too, Lucas. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what the confusion is, he played in Oklahoma City for 2 seasons.
Yeah. That was those. For some reason, they have that as NOK for initialized there.
Oklahoma. Yeah.
And he never played in Charlotte, right?
No.
That's right.
No.
Okay, so that's what it is. All right, so that I get the confusion. That's a lot of cities. And he never played for he did play, and then he came back to Oklahoma. He played for the Thunder. All right, so 11-time All-NBA first team, All-NBA player, 5-time All-NBA second team, 2009, 2015, 2016. And then he did get some second teams with that Phoenix Suns team that made the finals. Yeah,
Good,
he got. So we forget he was in 2020. 2020 was the lockout season.
Yeah, but we still had an All-Star. Yeah.
No, we did have an All-Star game.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah.
That team was unexpected to be a lottery team, but him and a young SGA were a 4 seed, 5 seed, fifth seed. Yeah. So they did reward him with All-NBA second team that year. And then again, his first season with the Suns, he took them to the finals, All-NBA second team. And then All-NBA third team with the Suns in 2022 and earlier in his career in 2011. This is going to be shocking for his size. We talked about the steals. We see guys with steals not really get rewarded like Allen Iverson. We get Dwayne Wade. 9-time All-NBA defensive team.
Wow.
They say that CP was one of the better defensive guards in the league. I'm not surprised by that one bit.
And you guys wait for this. How many of those 9 do you think were first team?
Well, remember they used to do it by position, right? So
yeah,
I'm gonna say about 7 of them.
All right, Uriah.
I'll say 5.
Maurice.
Stay in the middle and go 6.
All right, Lucas.
I didn't know. I'm guessing.
Lucas is. I actually feel like this is more Lucas was just like dialed into basketball, so it's more
this was my era, guys. I mean, like,
So, 7-time All-NBA defensive first team. This kind of puts Chris Paul in like
elite category.
Yeah,
top 4.
At some
because he wasn't 3. Just a pickpocket. He stood. He could handle defensively. And he didn't have like a crazy wingspan either. He was just kind of like, really.
Some of these accolades actually put him ahead of, outside of winning a chip. It starts getting a little like, is he better than, dare I say,
Isaiah Thomas?
Yeah, it starts. Well,
there's a reason why his nickname is the Point God, right?
Yeah, Gary Payton. So because this guy could truly do it on both ends, and then almost winning an MVP a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If he had the championship or an MVP, I think you would definitely have him in that top tier category with Steph Curry and Magic Johnson at this point.
Yeah, I actually agree with that. If he got those 2 things,
at least one of those 2 things,
he put him way ahead of Stockton.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I actually think he might be ahead of Stockton personally.
Another day.
Yeah. All right. NBA Rookie of the Year 2006.
Yep.
NBA Rookie All First Team 2006. How many times, I'm going to start with Maurice, how many times was he the NBA assist leader? Remember, he is about to be second all-time in assist.
Wow.
The over-under, let's put it at, 6?
I was going to say 8, so I'll go over it.
Okay.
I'm going to say 7.
Because I'm trying to think of who he played against. He played against Jason Kidd, obviously, Steve Nash. So he probably didn't get it those first couple of years.
I would focus more on, it's more Harden and Westbrook.
I was going to say Rajon Rondo, too. because I feel like Rajon probably stole one from him.
Yeah.
Probably the 08-09 season, I want to say. Probably.
Yeah, him and then Harden and Westbrook.
I'm gonna go all in on this one. I'm gonna say, and I know I'm probably wrong, but I just want to give him some love here. I'm gonna say 9 seasons.
So you guys are all wrong. And so this is actually a surprising one, I think, because he's about to be second all time, and if he plays a couple years of Wemby, he could catch Stockton.
Okay.
It is, I think, of the 3 guys we just mentioned, were also in their prime. It was, remember, Westbrook was averaging 30, 11, and 11.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Harden was averaging 30, 11, and 12.
Rondo.
So it was, Rondo was averaging like 12, 13 assists consistently. So he wasn't an elite. So the fact that he's getting these accolades in this elite.
So what's the number? I don't think you said the number.
It's 5.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
But only 5,
Feels like it should be more. He also led the league multiple times in his steals and one time in free throw percentage, right?
So this infamous 08 season, and then Lucas, did you say in 09 he was top 5 as well? And then did you say it's 2006? This 08 season, he just like was the guy when he was almost on MVP. He was the assist leader then.
Mm-hmm.
He was the assist leader in 09 and then 2014, 2015. And then he won it again in his last season with the Suns.
Yeah.
So he's had longevity with this title. 6-time NBA steals leader, 5-time assist leader. He was, we just had the Olympics, Chris Paul, a member of the Redeem Team, 2008, and the second iteration of the Redeem Team in 2012 in London. NBA 75th anniversary team. He is still playing. He's still playing at a high level. So, and he is about to be second all time in assists. So, all right. What stands out to you? I'm going to start with Uriah.
Wow. This resume is tremendous. You feel bad for him because, he's so close so many times. And, the politics, Kobe deserved it one year and they gave it to him 08. Look, Chris Paul is 6 feet tall. For him to do all these things and impact the game the way he does, I think he should have at least one MVP. And I do think that you look at his impact, just like Jason Kidd. When Jason Kidd was in New Jersey, he helped them go to the finals. When he was in Dallas, he led them to the finals. Well, Chris Paul, even though he hasn't made the finals, he has elevated every team that he's been on, whether it's OKC, whether it's Phoenix, who were losing constantly, even with Devin Booker. He came in and immediately takes them to the championship. Actually, I'm lying. He did take him to the championship. He just hasn't won yet.
So maybe 2012, they should have given it to him.
I think that was the LeBron James year.
That was a LeBron year, and then KD was second. Yeah, that's just, he's in such a tough era. Look at like all these top 15.
Yeah.
Like, and then Steph ascended. He's got like,
Steph.
He has like James Harden, Westbrook. He has more, and then he had Giannis, Jokic, Embiid. He probably has more top 30, top 50 players all time in his era that he's played in than any other player. I would easily say. And
then you also have to consider the team that he was on. Not the teammates, but the team. When he was in his prime, he was in a nowhere place like New Orleans, no offense to them. And then he was on the Donald Sterling Clippers.
Yeah.
Like that has to hurt.
That's right. I forgot he was on the Clippers.
That's where he was, guys. How did we forget the Clippers?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And then I used to watch those teams we talked about. They were the most talented team in the league for a couple years because it was before the Warriors got good.
Yeah, and the fact that he led the league in steals more than he led the league in assists. Once again, go back to the blocks, 3 blocks in a game. His defense is underrated. We keep talking about 6 foot and him being small, but I think we're learning here is that he impacted the game in more ways than just assists and passing the ball.
Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, this resume is probably one of the more impressive ones we've ever seen where the guy didn't win an MVP.
Yeah.
I would say it's the most impressive I've ever seen where a guy didn't win an MVP.
But you'd never think of Chris Paul as an elite defender, but if you just looked at the resume, you're thinking, oh, well, Chris Paul must be one of the best defensive point guards of all time. He's not, but he was consistent enough to where he was consistently very, very good at defense, but he's never like a Drew Holiday, a Gary Payton, a Marcus Smart. You never put him in that category, but he was just so consistent that I think that's the thing that kind of blows my mind the most.
The one thing real quick I have to add, I think the last time he was in a All-Star game, he went up in that game and caught an alley-oop for a dunk at 37, 38, and
36.
The announcers made a big deal out of it. And I'm like, how does he still get up like that? Like, I mean, I dunked maybe twice when I was in my 20s, but that's it. Don't even ask me to try to grab the rim now. But CP's doing it at 6 feet. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, it's insane. And, it's just a testament of how far health science, sports science has gone to. Because, like, him and LeBron James, like, even in a reduced role, Chris Paul could continue to play for probably another 3 years, as long as he can stay healthy.
Yeah.
I don't know if he can touch Stockton's record, though. That's going to be really tough,
look,
right?
the numbers are going down in terms of assists per game. Like I said last season, in 26 minutes per game, he was still averaging 6.8.
He won't get that. He won't get that, I don't think. Because
that's an untouchable
It's
record.
about 3,000 or 4,000 behind.
Yeah.
And then I think Stockton leads in steals. But, so it's important for us to remember. I think we all four collectively forgot this. So Chris Paul was on the New Orleans Hornets for 6 years. He was also on the Clippers for 6 years. So that's wild. That blew my mind. I didn't realize he was on the Clippers for 6 years.
Yeah,
And so some of those MVP finalists, when he should have actually won, and there was a season, not to steal your thunder, Lucas, the 2014-2015 season, he almost was 40, 50, 90, as well as leading league in assists.
I didn't know
His
that.
team won 56 games. So
I missed that. I'm going to be honest. I didn't even see that.
I'm not
one.
surprised, but that's
it is
interesting.
sad that Donald Sterling drama, man. It is sad.
And I think that just kind of tarnished his, like, not his reputation, but how people viewed the Clippers and how like voters probably viewed the Clippers too.
Well, the band broke up. Once you lose trust in that, I mean, as appropriately so, like it slowly.
Well, I think the Austin Rivers aspect, and that's no shade to Austin Rivers, but it's more on Doc, like bringing your son in as a player, and him not being either the best or the worst player, kind of like a middle tier, kind of makes it really not a good situation.
Yeah, and injuries to Blake, but that was his best chance to win a chip. That and then obviously the James Harden when he was in Houston for tears. All right, we could go on and on about this guy, but let's switch it over to Jason Kidd.
My second run with the Dallas Mavericks. Mark Cuban, thank you for giving me the opportunity to win a championship. One of the best owners in sports. Coach Rick Carlisle, one of the best coaches in basketball. Don Coxstein, the glue that kept everything together. Casey Smith, another glue guy that kept this old guy on the floor. Dirk Nowitzki, Jason Terry, and the entire 2011 championship team. It was a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Thank you. Guys, you gave me a big present, so I want to thank you guys personally on this stage. Dirk, I carried you. I know. You
That is Jason Kidd being inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame and thanking his teammate. Jason Kidd has an interesting story because he did contribute to a championship team very much later in his career. Since we just heard it, let's get into it. He was an NBA champion in the 2010-2011 season with the Dallas Mavericks. And that team famously, we've already done other players on that team, famously beat the super team of LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh. So one of the more unexpected finals teams because Dirk Nowitzki he was his only All-Star on the team that year. All right, let's get into it. How many times was Jason Kidd an NBA All-Star? And remember, he was a victim of that lockout season in the 98-99 season.
Yeah, that threw me off of my stats.
Yeah.
I think he made his first All-Star season during his third season, I want to say. So a season earlier than CP. How many seasons did he play? Like 19? 18?
18, yeah. 18 or 19.
I'm going to give Jason Kidd about, and I know he made one All-Star with the Dallas Mavericks the second time around. I'm going to give him 14. All-Star game appearances.
I'm going to go 13.
13 sounds like a really good number.
Okay, you guys are all kind of way off. It's only 10.
It's only 10? Only 10?
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know when. I guess he just stopped kind of being elite after a certain time. But no, he took a couple years off in the mid-2000s. So kind of those later iterations of the Nets, the New Jersey Nets.
Because they were bad at that point.
I think also when they got Vince Carter, he took an all-star spot from the team. I think that's what happened. Because they're obviously we're going to vote for Vince Carter. He did get one in 96, in 98. He probably would have gotten one in 99. 2000 to 2004 with the Nets 5 straight times, 2007, 2008, and his last one was 2010. So he only was an All-NBA player 6 times. And that was surprising because All-NBA at an elite level, you can get 15 slots. So there's a first, second, third team. 5 of those times were first team in 99 to 2002. So he had 4 straight years. And then again in 2004. And he was second team in 2003. How many times was Jason Kidd an All-NBA defensive player? Over under 10.
Over under 10. I'll go under.
Okay.
Under.
All right, and Lucas.
Under. I'm going to say around 8.
You guys are all correct.
Oh, yeah.
But barely 9.
9, okay.
And
no.
I think that's about the same total number as Chris Paul, right?
Yeah,
I believe
roughly.
so.
Yeah.
So 4-time All-NBA defensive first team, 5-time All-NBA defensive second team. He didn't start getting them until someone retired for the first time or second time, Michael Jordan. So Michael and Gary Payton were kind of stealing that slot.
Oh, that's right.
So once Michael retired, he started getting that award.
Did him and CP make the all-defensive team at the same time?
In 2007, I believe so.
Good
Let's
question.
check. That's a great trivia question. Let me check really quick.
And were they on the same team, or was one on second and one on first? I always find it fun when we have players that played in the same era as each other so that we can see if they ever overlapped. Because I know they made some all-star games together.
That sounds about right. I wouldn't be surprised. Late 2000s.
No.
Wow.
They just missed each other, guys. Yeah.
Okay.
So Jason Kidd's last All-NBA team was in 2007. Okay.
Okay.
And Chris Paul's was started in 2008.
Oh, dang.
So that was his first. So they just missed each other.
Just missed, yeah.
And All-NBA, his last All-NBA team was 2003. But they do have a few crossovers. They were All-Stars twice together in 2008 and 2010. So they did play with each other.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so how many times was Jason Kidd the assist leader?
I know this one. I'm going to wait.
Okay. Uriah.
I want to say 7.
Okay. Maurice.
5.
All right, Lucas.
5.
Okay, Lucas and Maurice, you guys are correct.
Nice.
So that's the same as Chris Paul, 5. Again, it's a little surprising given... So these guys are currently... Jason Kidd is second all-time. Chris Paul is third. And Jason Kidd became elite when John Stockton kind of was out of the league, as well as Magic Johnson. So he kind of ran the league for a while. Us kind of elder millennials remember him. So 5 was surprising to me. Jason Kidd is obviously an NBA 75th anniversary team. No MVPs. I don't even believe he was a finalist ever. He did finish top 5 though, given his first team. So I looked it up. I was curious about that 2002 season because that's when the Nets made the finals.
With the Nets, it was his first season with the Nets was when he got 5th in the final MVP.
Yeah, MVP. Yeah, so he was top 5, and he was a 5-time All-NBA first team. So yeah, he was kind of in an era of elite guard play, so it was difficult for him to really
stand out.
Any sort of stand out.
Yeah.
But he did win a championship. That's the thing he has above Chris Paul, and his number 5 was retired by the Nets. So he did not play in the 2004 Olympics. that won bronze. He did win in 2000, and he was a member of the Redeem team.
2008.
So
yeah.
Chris Paul and Jason Kidd played together in Beijing in the 2008 team. So there we go.
Perfect.
That's the
overlap.
That's the overlap.
Yeah.
All right, guys. What stands out? And right now, again, currently second all time in assists.
I think it's just the overlaps and, not just leading the league in assists, but also the defensive teams. And
yes,
I think the similarity in the stat numbers, the career highs.
Yeah.
I think all that is the turnovers per game is pretty similar. I think it's all that, the steals per game, all of it. I think it's all very compelling of why this is actually despite the height difference there and the disparaging in scoring per game. I think it's a really good comp in terms of why these guys are such a good comparison. And you could easily make, the argument that these two guys should be considered for the point guard Mount Rushmore of the 2000s. And Chris Paul could be argued, he could be on the point guard for 2 decades, the Mount Rushmore for the 2010s as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I gotta be honest. Some of these resumes, these two guys with the elite two-way play, I think we really only see it with Kobe. It's Kobe, D Wade, and Gary Payton. Obviously, Michael's in his own thing.
Yeah,
but there's not many. There's only on 2 hands you can name only a few guys. So the fact that we have the two-way play for me stands out. And I would say the thing that we haven't mentioned, their IQ, man, is I mean, these two guys' basketball IQ is probably top all time.
Yeah, and Jason Kidd is a coach right now. I don't think anybody would be surprised right now if when Chris does decide to retire that he could very easily be a coach if he wants to.
Yeah, I can see that as well.
Uriah, what stands out to you?
Well, the fact that Jason Kidd did get all of those awards and he led the league in assists so many times, but yet never got the MVP recognition because of his unselfish play. I think he was more concerned about getting players the ball where they needed it, where they could thrive and the team could succeed. Like Chris Paul, he elevated the teams around him. When he got to New Jersey, they went to the finals. I mentioned that earlier. And the IQ, Ben, you nailed it on the head. I think just like Chris Paul, Jason Kidd has an awareness, and not just offensively, but to get all those steals and be defensive players at the magnitude that they were, they had to have instincts. They had to know where the ball was. They had to know when to cheat, in the passing lanes, and it worked out for them in that aspect. So I think underappreciated, and the fact I find it so ironic that we're comparing these players, and CP is going to pass Jason Kidd in the all-time assist list. So I think that's really interesting.
Yeah, I agree with you. Lucas, did you ever find this in your research? What's funny, you're right. You just thought it made me think of something. I think Jason Kidd might have had a better shot at Defensive Player of the Year than MVP in his career. I just remember him being that good. So I feel like he must have been a finalist one year.
Yeah.
Maurice, what stands out to you?
And the one dividing factor is, Jason Kidd won the NBA championship. Chris Paul didn't. Once again, it comes down to circumstance and roster construction, being at the right place at the right time. But we're talking about these two players. The one thing that really jumps out to me is Chris Paul, both of them are great point guards, Hall of Famers, obviously. Chris Paul has the attribute of longevity, whereas Jason Kidd has the attribute of versatility. So one of them was just more versatile, and the other one just played longer, and because of that, has a better career when it comes to accolades. But in Jason Kidd's case, the versatility really jumps out to me. He can do so many things on the court at one time. It's really remarkable.
Rebounding, passing. Yeah, I agree. I do think that CP does have the edge in shooting, far superior shooter. But I agree, Jason Kidd, like you were talking about earlier, Mr. Triple-Double. Maurice, you're right. He could do it all.
Yeah, and let's not forget Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd did win a championship, but like Chris Paul was on that famous Rockets team that was up against the Warriors. Would they miss 27 threes in a row? He was on that squad.
Yeah,
and
he was hurt. He was hurt.
He was hurt, yeah, and they should have won. So he's been on teams in the Lob City iteration. So
the Phoenix Suns.
I would say we as this podcast knows, we're from a city that hasn't won a championship in going on 41 years. But we've had all-time great players, and a lot of those players haven't won. It was out of their control. And Charles Barkley, Allen Iverson, it was roster construction. It wasn't just that. So our current player, I completely agree. And Chris Paul is a prime example of that. Like, this guy should have a chip, but the way NBA seasons go, it's just...
They were up 2-0 against Milwaukee.
Yeah, there you go.
Collapse.
There you go. That was the collapse.
Should have a ring.
Yep. They should have taken, I don't know what. Actually, I don't remember that series of what went wrong.
All right. Are we ready for Maurice?
Right. Yeah, let's do it. We're gonna take it over to talk about teammates.
Hang on. Sorry, I didn't realize that I was muted. I thought you guys were just ignoring me. To answer your question about who was closer to Defensive Player of the Year, it was actually Chris Paul. He got 6th one year, and the closest Jason Kidd ever got was 8th.
Wow.
Lucas, we can never ignore you, buddy.
Yeah, man.
Not even if you try, guys. Don't forget.
All right.
All right, Maurice, let's hear about their teammates.
Let's do it.
Fourth quarter, teammates.
It's the most surreal thing in the world because he was big brother, and he is big brother in the sense that when I was coming up as a rookie, he showed me the ropes. Then you go into battling for playoff, position and championships and all that, and there's a lot of history. He's in year 18, I'm in year 15. It's just amazing that we get to do it together now. I'm going to enjoy the ride.
All right, that was Steph Curry talking about his teammate for one season, Chris Paul. Chris Paul was drafted with the 4th pick in the 2005 NBA draft by the New Orleans Hornets. So let's get into his teammates. And I'm going to start with his rookie season. We're not a good team, 38-44, coached by Byron Scott. Let's just rattle off some of his teammates real quick. Chris Anderson, Birdman. Brandon Bass, P.J. Brown, Rasul Butler.
Rest in peace.
Yes, rest in peace. J.R. Smith and David West. Once again, they had a young team, just moved, so they were in a rebuild stage for sure. I was actually going to save this, but there's one player that played with Chris Paul and Jason Kidd. Can anyone name him? Lucas, this is your era.
Can you give me the team that they both played, that he played with both of them on?
I cannot do that. I'll make it too easy.
I know who it is. Can I go first?
Hang on, let me think of it.
I don't have a clue. So
I'm gonna pass, Lucas.
Give me a minute. I'm trying to think.
This is an episode on passing, so you want to pass?
Yeah. Pass your turn.
There's just so many players. I know who it is. It's J.R. Smith.
Why you just let me say it? Now he's gonna get all the credit. I know.
Wait. There's actually another answer.
What?
Yeah, there's another answer.
There's another answer. I thought you said there was just one.
No, I didn't say there was one. I'm saying just name. I said name one.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna say David West. That's my random guess. David West.
You're right.
I don't know another. I know J.R. Smith.
Hang on. Let me see if I can think of it here. Okay.
Come on. What is it, man?
The answer is Tyson Chandler.
Oh.
Yeah.
That should have been an easy one.
Yeah, that should have been an easy one because you mentioned him earlier.
Yeah, you're right. My bad.
So, and I have a couple teams here. Chris Paul moved around a lot, like I mentioned in the intro. So, let's move on to the 2013-2014 Lob City Los Angeles Clippers. Record 57-25, coached by Doc Rivers. And remember, Chris Paul was a great player with the Hornets. And I think we all remember the Lakers trying to trade for Chris Paul, and David Stern vetoed it.
Me and Uriah were talking about this yesterday.
Yeah,
Al Gasol was supposed to be on the Rockets.
Yeah, it was a 3-team trade. I do believe it was a 3-team trade.
Yeah,
Chris Paul was going to go play with Kobe, so he still went to LA, but the other team.
Right,
that's too bad.
Maybe they would have won a championship. Maybe that was his opportunity with Kobe. Who knows? But Lob City, Los Angeles Clippers. Let me go through some of the players because a lot of these players are really notable now, for other things, podcasting and whatnot. Jamal Crawford, Matt Barnes, Glenn Big Baby Davis, Danny Granger, of course, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, J.J. Redick, who's now a coach, and Antoine Jameson.
Antoine was on the team?
Yes. And Steven Jackson.
Stack was only on there on a 10-day contract.
But still, wow, you're right. You weren't playing with the podcasters. That's a lot of radio people.
It is. So I asked this question about every teammate, and I'm asking it again here. Who won the most games with Chris Paul?
Oh.
I'm going to start with Ben.
Oh, this is going to be hard.
So I kind of gave us a spoiler that he did 6 seasons with New Orleans or the Clippers, so it's going to be one of those. Yeah. So not just Clippers. Everyone or Clippers is what you're asking?
Of all the players that I've named so far.
For both teams, right?
Both teams, yes.
Okay.
Blake Griffin.
You're right.
I think Blake seems too easy, so I'm going to go with DeAndre Jordan.
Lucas.
You're both wrong. It's David West. He's the Iron Man of the NBA, sir.
All right, so Lucas, you're actually wrong.
What? What? Blake Griffin wasn't healthy enough. And if you say DJ, I'm going to lose my mind.
It was DeAndre Jordan. You're right.
What?
I was going to say that.
So now, see, you're right. Now we're even, okay? Now we're even.
It was DeAndre Jordan. Remember, Blake Griffin lost a whole season for injury.
Yes. Yeah.
So DeAndre Jordan won 302 games with Chris Paul. But Blake Griffin was second, though, 254.
Really?
Okay.
Where was David West?
He was fourth, 202.
Who?
220.
Was JJ third?
No, Jamal Crawford.
Oh, okay.
All right, so let's get back to the roster. And we're going to move on to the 2017-2018. Like I said, Chris Paul was well-traveled. Houston Rockets. This was the Houston Rockets team that they blew a lead against the Golden State Warriors in the Western Conference Finals. Won 65 games that season. 65-17. Wow. Coached by Mike D'Antoni. This was another opportunity for Chris Paul to get his ring, but unfortunately it didn't happen. Let me go through some of the names. Trevor Ariza, Ryan Anderson, Clint Capella, Eric Gordon, of course James Harden, Nene, Joe Johnson, and P.J. Tucker.
I don't remember Joe Johnson being on that team at all.
Yeah, me either. I actually don't. But this is what Basketball Reference has.
I mean, maybe he was like on a 10-day or something. I don't know.
Could have been. Could have been. We all remember this team. This was like the small ball D'Antoni offense.
Mm-hmm.
P.J. Tucker, Eric Gordon was really good players on this team. 165 games. I mean, that's nothing to sneeze at. But they did lose to the Warriors in 7 games. So
you got to wonder if the Warriors weren't the dynasty, if this team would have won a championship.
Well, I had one up because the Warriors got hurt the following year. So if they just stuck it out with that squad and were more patient, they could have won.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it just wasn't a good fit.
And I should note that then GM Daryl Morey promised Chris Paul that he would not trade him to the Thunder, and then traded him anyway.
Yeah. Is that confirmed?
Yeah.
Who said that?
That's what Chris Paul said in an interview.
Okay.
Yeah.
So before I have 2 more teams I want to highlight, but let me ask you guys this. Who complimented Chris Paul's game the most so far in his career? I'm sorry, you're right.
Up to this point in Houston. Okay, gotcha.
Yes, you're right.
You have to go Blake Griffin just because you look at Chris Paul, he's the ultimate passer. And if you're a Clippers fan, I know Ben probably saw those teams, how exciting it was to watch lobs left and right from Chris Paul to DeAndre Jordan, but most importantly to Blake Griffin, who was the former NBA dunk champion. If anything, Chris Paul goes down in history, his YouTube highlights are always going to be there because of Blake Griffin, who he was throwing the ball to.
And DeAndre as well.
Yes.
He could have been an accessory to a crime with that lob to DeAndre Jordan over Brandon Knight.
I'm going to say Jamal Crawford. I think Jamal Crawford is just the perfect 6 man to have on your team. And he would close lineups with Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Also a veteran. They were on a team that was unique because it had a mixture of vets with young athletic guys, so it should have worked. But the Western Conference was tough back then, and
it was.
The easy answer is Blake Griffin, and it might be the right answer, but there are two players that I want to shout out. Tyson Chandler made a name for himself with Chris Paul in New Orleans because he was not considered that good when he got drafted by the Bulls.
True. That's fair.
Then like CP unlocked DeAndre Jordan and made him like an all NBA third team center.
Right.
So like you gotta say that, and they both, stepped up their game defensively.
First team, Lucas. DeAndre Jordan made an NBA first team.
Okay.
It was a low era. But
okay.
But yeah, he made it out good for him.
Okay, yeah. All NBA center. Anyway, point being is that their careers really lifted up with Chris Paul, and them being rim running defensive centers really hid CP3's weaknesses on defense. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to say there's a tie for those two, really, if you think about it, because they're their ultimate lob threats.
Okay. Now, just imagine, even at his age now, throwing the lob to Wembanyama.
Ooh, man, that's
he can throw it at the free throw line and he'll be able to dunk it.
Yeah.
I don't want to get off topic. Just while we're talking about this team, did you guys watch? I didn't watch much of that. Their playoffs. What didn't work? Was there not enough shooting? Like, how did they
with
not?
Chris Paul and CP3,
Lob City, right?
Lob City?
What didn't work in the playoffs?
It was the chemistry and health. Once you saw Blake by himself in Detroit for those 2 years when he was healthy, you understood why there was friction because CP always had the ball in his hands and Blake had to play like a secondary role where Blake was really an elite player. And we talked about it in a former pod about him and Paolo Banchero. But yeah, no, I think that's why that didn't work.
Yeah, I think a lot of it just had to do with Warriors at that time was the dynasty of that era, and it couldn't get over that hump.
Yep.
Yeah.
But if you think about it, the Clippers are the reason why Mark Jackson has not gotten an NBA job since, because they did beat that young Warriors team the first time.
They were a year away. Yeah, they were a year away.
That's a good point. Yeah.
All right, so now you move on to the 2019-2020 Oklahoma City Thunder roster. Their record was 44-28. Now, this team had Chris Paul. Now, they weren't projected to be anything special, but Chris Paul really had a renaissance, I'll say, season with them. And he really did help this young roster, at least be a contender. And let's just go through some of the names because this is really, at least for one player, he helped. And that player is SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who we highlighted in season 1. SGA really helped him, and I think he's talked about it many times himself. Chris Paul has helped him in his career, especially in the beginning stages with the Thunder. Some of the other players, Steven Adams, Danilo Gallinari, Mike Muscala, Nerlens Noel.
Oh, wow. I forgot about him.
Yeah, I forgot that too.
Dennis Schroeder.
Yep, I remember that.
Yep.
And for maybe a handful of years, a really good defensive player in Andre Roberson.
Yeah.
Yeah, at that point, injuries just took the toll, and his lack of shooting just kind of made him like he was there because of the salary at that point.
Yeah. And finally, we'll highlight maybe Chris Paul's last chance to win an NBA championship, and that was the 2020-2021 Phoenix Suns. This was a shortened season because of a pandemic, but the record was 51-21. And they went to the NBA Finals, and they lost 4-2 against the Milwaukee Bucks. And once again, like Uriah mentioned earlier, they were up 2-0.
Yeah.
So this was really unlucky for Chris Paul.
I was about to say, is it a Chris Paul? Is it the Suns' fault for melting, or was it Giannis Antetokounmpo taking over?
It was Giannis going supernova. That's what it was.
I mean, because he stopped a game-winning lob from DeAndre Jordan, and then that 50-point game when he made like almost all of his free throws, which is so uncharacteristic of him.
Yeah, and Drew Holiday. Don't forget about Drew Holiday. He was really good.
Oh yeah, he did a good job too.
Yeah. So some of the players on the Suns team: DeAndre Ayton, Devin Booker, Mikal Bridges, Jay Crowder, Cameron Payne, Dario Saric, Langston Galloway, Torrey Craig.
Should note that Darius Arch was injured that pretty much that full season.
Yeah.
I think we all can agree the Spurs aren't contending for an NBA championship, so that might have been Chris Paul's last opportunity to get a ring, which is unfortunate. So I have 2 questions for you guys. We wrap up Chris Paul's teammates. Which teammate stands out the most? I'm going to start with Lucas. In his whole career.
In his whole career, I mean, he's always going to be tied to Blake Griffin. So, I mean, there's that. Can I say something about Phoenix, though?
Sure.
Real quick. I think that team could have lasted longer, but the chemistry between him and DeAndre Ayton deteriorated the chemistry on that team so fast. And I'm not blaming Chris Paul. I'm actually blaming DeAndre Ayton because he just wanted a bigger role than just being a lob guy, and he just couldn't accept that role. So I blame that team falling apart more on Ayton than CP3.
Yeah, it's easy to say like the Lob City Blake Griffin. I'm going to say James Harden because that fall from grace, they were a really good duo. You mentioned the 65 win team. Chris Paul's been on some all time teams. His last season with the Suns, that was actually a bigger upset. They were a 64 win team in 2022, and they just blew it up. I would say that Rockets team. They should have beaten the Warriors, and it was just unfortunate with injury and teammates just not hitting shots that they lost. So I would say that James Harden and him were such a good duo.
You right?
Yeah, 1A, 1B, like Lucas said, Blake Griffin for all those reasons. And also James Harden, but also because they had good chemistry on camera together in the State Farm commercials. Remember when they had the Rockets mascot and then all that the house flooded and they're like, oh no, and then you see like an explosion. I don't know. That was just a fun commercial. But Chris Paul, I think he's played with a lot of great players. He came close several times. I think to your point, Maurice, it's highly unlikely that he will win a championship with Wembanyama in San Antonio, unless kind of like they catch people by surprise, like OKC. No one expected OKC to make the playoffs that year. I know I didn't. Yeah. So when they did, you had to point the finger at the ultimate floor general and his impact wherever he's gone. That's Chris Paul. So I would say 1A, 1B, James Harden, as well as Blake Griffin.
I will say, watching that Lob City team, I will say J.J. Redick really benefited from Chris Paul. J.J. Redick is one of the greatest three-point shooters. I mean, he's in the era of a Steph, but J.J. was an elite shooter too as well. And Chris Paul really did help elevate J.J. Redick from where he was with, I want to say Orlando and Milwaukee before he got to the Clippers.
And bringing up JJ makes me wonder, because, there was a lot of bad blood with that Clippers team by the time it ended. I wonder if that's the reason why he didn't join LeBron in LA this offseason, because JJ took the head coaching job. Speculation, but just a thought.
That's interesting speculation. I wonder how much Austin Rivers being on that team, getting that contract because Doc Rivers was his dad.
Yeah.
I wonder how much. I mean, I'm sure it didn't help, and I'm sure there's maybe a little animosity because of that, but I'm sure that didn't help.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because what they needed like a wing more, right? They kind of were loaded up at guard.
And
just thinking back,
they
needed like backup wings, yeah.
Next up for me was I had to learn my competitiveness, and who better but my guy, Jay Kidd. I will always remember when you came to us, you were, already a little older. But, man, you were a warrior. I remember you picking up guys at age 37, 38. You got picking up guys full court, 94 feet, hustling for us, making plays on both ends. And you were just a wonderful, wonderful all-around player, and we won the championship together. We have a bond for life. Thank you so much.
All right, that was Dirk Nowitzki talking about his teammate who they won a championship together with, Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd was drafted second overall in the 1994 NBA draft by the Dallas Mavericks. Let's highlight his career. And I start off with as a rookie, with the Dallas Mavericks, coached by Dick Motta. Their record his first season was 36-46. And let's go through some of the teammates from his rookie year. Tony Dumas, Jim Jackson, Popeye Jones, Scott Brooks.
Oh,
Scotty Brooks. Okay.
Yeah.
He was a good point guard during. Is he the one that has the? No, he doesn't have the assist.
He used to coach the Wizards, right?
Yeah.
Scotty Brooks.
Scott Brooks has the most assists in the game,
Portland,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually liked his
He has
post
the
games.
most assists in the
No,
game.
that's Scott Skiles.
Scott. Oh, okay. And Jamal Mashburn.
Okay,
Mm.
solid.
He was really good back then.
We can move on before I ask any questions. Let's move on to the 97 and 98 Phoenix Suns because for some reason, I still don't know why, the Dallas Mavericks traded Jason Kidd to the Phoenix Suns. We talked about that trade earlier. But he went into a winning team. The 1997-98 Phoenix Suns had a record of 56-26. And this is blast for pass. I don't even remember this. They were coached by Danny Ainge.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man, I forgot.
He was
that.
the coach there. I do remember him being Phoenix's
Yeah,
head coach. I
actually-
didn't realize that he coached Jay Kidd, but before he was a GM, yeah, he did head coach for a little bit.
Yeah. So let's go through some of the teammates really quick. Cedric Ceballos.
Yep.
Rex Chapman.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Johnson.
Yep.
Who also went to Cal, by the way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Danny Manning. Antonio McDyess.
Yep.
Dennis Scott.
Mm-hmm.
Hot Rod Williams.
Oh.
And a second-year player, Steve Nash.
Yep. So hold up. Who started? I guess it was Kidd. So Kevin
was
Johnson
Kidd.
came off the
Had to
bench.
be Kid.
They had three really good point guards.
Yeah. Yeah.
Steve Nash hadn't developed yet. Steve Nash came off the bench, I believe,
I'm
because
saying between did they start Jay Kidd and Kevin Johnson with each other, or did one of them come off the bench?
Kevin Johnson started with Kidd, from what I remember.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's a lot of playmaking.
Nash took a minute to develop.
He did. He really did.
Yeah.
This team, they had a really good team. Cliff Robinson, Antonio McDyess. That was a really good team.
And this is after they lost Charles Barkley too a few years ago. So they bounced back pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. 56 wins. Yeah, that was pretty good. All right, so let me ask you guys this question. So far, which teammate stands out from the two teams so far?
Antonio McDyess was really good. He was one of the best power forwards in the league.
See, I only remember him from like 2005 forward.
He was good with Denver. He was really good with Denver.
He was really, really good. So they had all those vets like Rex Chapman, Kevin Johnson, Steve Nash. So Steve Nash, obviously, he's the obvious pick, but he was kind of you can't when you look back at it's weird when like people are like, oh, they had this guy, but he was like young. So I mean, very deep, but I'm kind of surprised they got bounced in the first round.
They did.
So I'm surprised they didn't go further, given that. So
whose dog is that?
Who else is
mine?
Yeah.
But I'll say McDyess.
Okay, you're right.
Wow, I would say Kevin Johnson because Kevin Johnson, up to that point, had already been to the finals. He was a Phoenix Sun for so many years, so he was a staple within that franchise. And it could have been a threatening situation where it's like, all right, he's been the man for so many years. He played alongside Charles Barkley, and then here comes another point guard that is taking the ball out of his hands, doing more playmaking that he should be doing. But if you remember, Kevin Johnson had a jump shot. Kevin Johnson was a really good offensive threat. He could get up, he could dunk. So, but he's a very humble guy. If you know anything about his character, he was mayor of Sacramento and just was a really good community guy. So it's not surprised that he was able to say, all right, Jay Kidd, you come in, you're younger than me, you're more athletic than me. But they made it work. So I would say Kevin Johnson.
KJ is the easy answer here for me too, just because I mean, like I said, I only know McDyess from when he was kind of old and was like a backup for the Spurs and for the Pistons. But like, so like Kevin Johnson though, like he was one of those guys in the 90s, you know. So like, and having a backcourt of 2 point guards, especially in the 90s, so unheard of. Like you didn't see that too often. So seeing that, I think that's the thing that kind of sticks out to me.
Okay. And Kevin Johnson was 6'1". Kid was 6'4".
So it worked.
Yeah, it worked.
Most shooting guards back then were between like 6'3" and 6'5".
Yeah, and Rex Chapman was their leading scorer too. Like they were rocking a lot of guards. The guard depth was insane on that team.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on to the 2001-2002 New Jersey Nets. This is the team that went to the NBA Finals, although they did get swept by the Lakers. But their Kobe Shaq teams were really good. The Nets' record was 52-30, coached by Byron Scott, who was not a bad point guard himself, actually. Well, a combo guard, but, wasn't bad. All right, some of his teammates were Richard Jefferson, Kerry Kittles, Danielle Marshall, Kenyon Martin, and Keith Van Horn. Keith Van Horn was a good player as well.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you guys this question. Who won the most games with Jason Kidd? I don't think you guys want to get this one. This is a hard one. But the number is 311.
He's played with so many teams and players. Is it a player you haven't named yet, though?
I've named the player. Actually,
you did name him?
I did not name the player because it's an obscure name, but he played for the Nets. He played 7 seasons with Jason Kidd with the Nets.
It's not Tony Kukoc because he was on that Nets team, wasn't he, at one point? No, it wasn't Tony.
I don't think he ever played for the Nets.
I thought he did. I could be wrong.
You got a name, Lucas?
I'm working on it.
All right, let's we're gonna pass. He's gonna pass the rock. Ben, who you got?
Devin Harris?
No. He got drafted 05.
No, that wasn't.
Yeah, but it's going to be someone total, so it's going to be someone who also played with him in Dallas.
But he didn't play with him in Dallas. He got traded for him, though.
I'll give you that hint. He played 7 seasons with the Nets. Jason Kidd. He was a Nets player.
I feel like he was a backup.
What position? What position?
I feel like it's a center. I feel like it's a backup center. He's not telling us because that would be too easy.
All right, front court or backcourt player? Give us at least that. Front court or backcourt?
Front court.
Jason Collins? That's my guess.
Is that your answer too, Lucas?
That's my...
I'll say Jason Collins.
Rodney Rogers. I'm just going to randomly say that.
That is...
Because it's not Kenyon Martin. He was straight. It's not Kenyon Martin. It's not Keith Van Horn.
It's not Richard Jefferson.
Yeah.
Put us out of our misery.
All right, so for at least my section, Uriah is on point. It was Jason Collins.
Hey!
There you go.
It was Jason Collins. Jason Collins had 311 wins with Jason Kidd. Number 2 was Richard Jefferson with 293.
Okay.
Yeah. So if I would have said his name, you'd have been like, all right, why did he highlight him? So it would have been an easy answer. So I couldn't say his name. All right. So let's move on to the championship team that Jason Kidd was on, which is the 2010-2011 Dallas Mavericks.
Let's go.
They beat the Miami Heat 4-2 in the NBA Finals. Their record that season was 57-25, coached by Rick Carlisle. And let's go through some of the names. Obviously, Dirk Nowitzki. If you heard the other episode, I already highlighted this team, but I'm going to do it again. For Jason Kidd, J.J. Barea, Caron Butler, once again, Tyson Chandler, Sean Marion, and Jason Terry, and also Peja Stojakovic. Really good team, great chemistry. They beat the Miami Heat in their first year as a super team. This was Dirk's championship, well-deserved, and Jason Kidd's championship, well-deserved.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys this question. Who was the perfect role player to play with Jason Kidd?
Ooh.
Not all-star, not superstar. You're just talking role
player?
Role player.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
I would say because Jason Kidd did go to the finals with New Jersey, and because this guy typically doesn't fill up the highlight reels, no matter how articulate he is and how great he is on camera as an analyst. But I say Richard Jefferson because You think he was a star? Was he an all-star?
He averaged 20 points per game a few seasons, even with the Nets. So I'm going to say no. You can't use Richard Jefferson, sir. He just never made an all-star game. At least that's my opinion. Maurice is the ultimate decider here.
Well, what is a role player? Role player is like someone who has a role, and his role was to score, right?
Yeah, I could say him a role player.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would say Richard Jefferson. He was instrumental in helping the Nets take them to the finals. So that's who. I mean, there's probably others that you guys are going to mention, but that's just who stands out to me because he did go to the finals with the Nets.
Ben?
Tyson Chandler.
Yeah, the player who played with both players. Yeah. Lucas?
I think of Sean Marion, the ultimate gadget guy. Could weirdly shoot threes. They looked ugly, but he could shoot threes.
In Phoenix or was in Dallas?
No, Dallas.
Okay.
Yeah, no, they didn't.
He was a role player by that point.
Yeah. And a lob threat, and just really was a 2-man punch on the defensive wing with J. Kidd, so they could play a guy like Jason Terry and not be hurt by it. Though I think technically Deshaun Stevenson was that 5th starter in Dallas during that championship.
Yeah.
Hey, a quick connection, guys. Usually it's Lucas who makes the connection with players. Both players were both coached by the same coach at some point. Maurice already mentioned him like several times.
Oh yeah.
Who has it been?
Byron Scott.
Yeah, Byron Scott.
Oh yeah.
I forgot.
Well, I have a wild one. Which I totally forgot this because the NBA coverage. Byron Scott went to the finals after winning a chip with the team. Didn't he win a champion? Didn't Byron Scott
No, he
win?
was only with the Lakers Kobe's rookie and second year.
Okay,
yeah,
but he was kind of with
by the time. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he was kind of with that team. It was interesting.
Yeah. No, that's a good grab there. And they both played for Phoenix, so that's another.
Tyson Chandler's a good one.
It's crazy to think that both these guys could be considered top 5 point guards in Phoenix franchise history.
Yeah.
What's wild is they broke up that New Orleans team, and Tyson went to the Mavericks, and Chris went to L.A., and you for sure would have been like, oh, yeah, he's definitely going to win a chip in L.A. before Chandler.
Yeah.
So,
How about that? And one last question for Jason Kidd. Out of the 3 Hall of Fame players, and I didn't mention Vince Carter, but he did play with Vince Carter in New Jersey. I didn't highlight that team, but he did play with Vince Carter. Out of Vince Carter, Steve Nash, Dirk Nowitzki, who was the better teammate for Jason Kidd?
That's a great question. The better teammate.
I'm going to go with the easy answer here. The one that he won the championship with, it's Dirk. I think, big point guard, big man combos are more of a natural fit than a point guard wing combo.
You know what, man? If Jason Kidd played with a younger Vince Carter,
I mean, Vince Carter wasn't old at that point.
He was still good, though.
If he played with a younger Vince Carter, that could have been Lob City.
I mean, they kind of were Lob City.
I think it was Lob City.
Yeah, it was Lob City. But here's the thing, though. Vince Carter got there in 2001, right? The same time J. Kidd did, right? So,
No. He didn't get there until 04, 05.
Yeah. So he missed out on the title runs.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, he didn't have all those good players.
Yeah.
The lineup of guys we just mentioned, we were talking about depth with making the NBA Finals. That Kerry Kittles, Keith Van Horn, that team was deep.
Yeah,
they were. They just ran up against Shaq and Kobe.
Yeah, when you put
they didn't have a good second.
They had Todd McCullough going up against Shaq for the New Jersey Nets, and I was like, no, this is not going to end well. And they got swept.
They should have traded for Big Country. Apparently, Big Country was the only guy that gave Shaq fits.
Well, and Yao Ming.
What did they do in the offseason? Because that team made the finals 2 years in a row. Did they make any improvements?
I don't know, but then that Pacers team came up afterwards.
Yeah. Pacers in Detroit.
Yeah. Now that we've given you all the facts on Chris Paul and Jason Kidd, it's time for you to make your case.
At this point, it's not about our opinion, it's about yours.
We'll see you on your favorite social media platform, ready to check out your takes. Chime in on our Instagram at NBA_now_and_then_pod, on X at NBA_now_and_then, and on our YouTube page, NBA Now and Then.
For the sources of information used in this episode, you can visit our website, www.nbanowandthen.com. Also, visit our website to sign up for our monthly newsletter and check out our comparison articles.
Hey, don't forget that you can follow the NBA stars we featured on today's episode through their social media.
You can follow Chris Paul on X and Instagram at CP3.
And you can follow Jason Kidd on X at RealJasonKidd. and on Instagram at Coach Jason Kidd.
All right, that was a lengthy episode for obvious reasons. Two great players. But until next time, we'll come back with some more comparisons next week. This has been NBA Now and Then, the greatest comparisons. Peace.
See ya.
Later.
There are many. There's plenty. Sorry, I said many the first time, didn't I? There's plenty. No. I was about to do that narration voice without realizing.
There's plenty.
Okay.
All right.